this Monday, that awkward 3.5 weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Welcome into a new week of Evan and Tiki. Hopefully everybody had a very healthy, happy, and wonderful Thanksgiving. We got a lot to talk about throughout this show. We'll take you right up until Giants football. Tiki Barber is putting in a very long day. He's not only doing this show, he's doing Giants pregame, he's doing halftime, he's doing postgame. He's going to be here all night. And we'll certainly get you set for the Giant game. The great Joe Bedingle will join us at 4 o'clock. And we have a fun show feature announcement coming up at 4:30. But let's ease into this Monday by playing a game. Tiki and I are usually very well prepared. Before a show, we sit down, and I say, what would you like to open with? I purposely didn't do that today. I never had a discussion with Tiki on where we should start the show because I wanted to play a game.
There's only one thing to open with, right?
Interesting. He thinks there's one thing. The game is, what's the most important thing that happened to New York football over the last 5 days?
A team won.
So you're voting on the Jets?
A team won.
The Jets won.
Period.
That's your pick on this?
That is the most important thing that it can happen for almost any team in any sport at any point of the year.
You are incorrect. Would you like to try again?
No.
And by the way,
I am not espousing tanking over here.
No.
I am not getting upset because the Jets took themselves from potentially being number 3 to now being number 7.
Well, I've got good news. Tanking, winning, losing, the Jets have nothing to do with the most important thing that happened to New York football over the weekend.
Oh, you mean
so
Jackson
cross
Dart
it out.
Being healthy?
Jackson Dart being healthy. That's a really good guess. Incorrect. You're 0 for 2. And by the way, we'll get to the Jets. The great Joe B is going to join us at 4 o'clock. I was at the game yesterday. I secretly recorded me and my son the entire time. I've got some clips from MetLife Stadium. So I love the victory. It was not the most important thing that happened in New York football over the weekend. Would you like to continue guessing? See, fun game. Fun way to start the show
A.D. Mitchell
today.
might be a good compliment for Garrett Wilson.
That's a good guess. I love A.D. Mitchell. No. 0 for 3. No.
What's going on
I'm going to help you out. It's not Jets related.
Yeah, well, it's not. How can it be Giant related? They didn't do anything.
So you're saying it isn't or it is Giants related? Are you asking me?
There's not another team unless you're going to count Virginia, Wahoo going to the ACC championship to play Duke.
Would you like to phone a friend? Again, the question is, what is the most important thing that happened related to New York football?
I'm going to phone a friend.
All right, who are you going to pick, Tommy or Sean?
Sean Morash. Sean, what is Evan alluding to?
My guess is...
It's a guess? All right, let's see if Sean's right.
The very loud fire Tomlin chants in Pittsburgh as they lose another game.
Ding, 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 ding. Ladies and gentlemen, it is December 1st. It has been exactly 5 months since I came on the radio and made a grandiose prediction that Mike Tomlin would end up as the next head coach of the New York Giants. And we'll play that clip in just a few short minutes. But I want to remind you of where we are right now. Daboll is out of a job. The Giants are looking for a head coach. Mike Tomlin is getting not only booed out of whatever the hell they call Heinz Field these days, but they're chanting at the top of their lungs, "Fire Tomlin!" We have moved closer to the inevitability that Mike Tomlin is going to be the next head coach of the New York football Giants. I love the Jets. I was in the building yesterday. I'm pumped that they won. More on that in a few minutes. That is not even remotely close to the top story in New York football. It's the fact that Tomlin is coming.
I will believe that when I see that. I know that the Pittsburgh Steelers faithful, hell, they wanted to fire him when he's made the postseason. They wanted to move on from him when he's had successful seasons. Now, for the first time, maybe, potentially, because there's still some football left to be played, Mike Tomlin might not have what we deem a successful season, and they want to fire him that quickly?
They don't just that quickly. He's been there for 18 years.
It doesn't matter.
That quickly.
It doesn't matter, though. You've had continued success. Again, I'll believe this when I'll see it. I am not putting Mike Tomlin on my Giant head coach wish list right now.
Dude, they gave up basically 26 unanswered points yesterday. The quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, who I think is like your final stand before you get fired, ask Robert Saleh. Aaron Rodgers threw everyone under the bus.
Yeah, he did.
Like, this situation is eroding to the levels that maybe one dreamt of before this season started. Not that you're sitting here rooting against the Steelers or rooting against Aaron Rodgers. Some maybe. But I was looking at it because of this inevitability. And I want to take you back to June 30th. This was June 30th, Random Evan and Tiki show, when I made this prediction about Mike Tomlin and the New York Football Giants. In January of 2026, the next head coach of the New York Football Giants will be Mike Tomlin.
That's a long-term prediction?
That is a long-term, 7 months out prediction. Number one, do you buy it?
No.
Why?
Because I don't think the Giants are going to be so bad that Dave gets fired.
Okay. But the Steeler part you're with me on.
Absolutely.
Well, the Giant part happened. And now they're sitting at 6-6, and the stadium's chanting, "Fire Mike Tomlin." Tiki, I love you. Open your eyes.
I am.
Open your ears, actually.
My eyes are open, and I watched this, and it's hard to win when you don't have a good quarterback, as much as we're calling that spade a spade. And Aaron Rodgers wants to call everybody else out. How about you turn the thumb at you, buddy? And so I get where the Steeler fan could be frustrated because it's been forever since they won a championship. They're constantly good, but they're the first world problem that we always talk about. You're always in the postseason, but you never go anywhere when you're in the postseason. So you have success, but it doesn't really matter. You're not really close to winning a championship. And is it ultimately at some point going to be a time to change for Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh? Sure. Get into the modern offense, let's call it, and a different play caller and schemes, etc. But you're never replacing the culture that Mike Tomlin had there. And you might find a way with a new head coach, but there's something about stability that is, it's something to cherish and appreciate. And the Steelers have had that for a long time. Now, they're probably sick of it. I get it. But until he's available, I'm not pining for Mike Tomlin.
Well, hold on. Would you not admit that after yesterday, and think about everything that happened yesterday, that was the nationally televised 4 o'clock window game. If you watched football yesterday, after getting through that Jet game, you were locked in on Steelers-Bills. It was appealing.
Yes.
When you saw the Steelers crumble the way they crumbled, and you heard that stadium erupt the way it erupted, did you not at least feel to yourself, wow, this is the closest we have ever been to the Pittsburgh Steelers giving up on that stability of 19 years and moving on from him?
Maybe. But it's also been 19 years of repeated success. Not like Super Bowl success, but great success.
But this is the year right now at 6-6 with 2 games left to play against the Ravens, where they are facing something Mike Tomlin has never faced, and that is finishing under 500. It is probably likelier than not.
They're 500 right now.
I understand that, but do you think they're winning 3 out of their last 5 games?
The Baltimore Ravens are all of a sudden world beaters?
I didn't say they're
The Miami Dolphins are the best team in the AFC, right? The Detroit Lions, they're not vulnerable. The Cleveland, we know what the hell's going on with them. Like, what are we actually talking about?
You're talking about the remaining Steelers schedule.
They have as good a chance of winning any of those games, as honestly, and be honest, as losing any of those games.
Do you think they will, though?
If I had to pick between the Steelers going 2-3.
3 of 5 on the road, 5 games to go. 2 against the Ravens.
If I had the choice of picking between the Steelers going 2-3 versus 3-2 over the next 5 games, I would say they'd go 3-2.
I know what's going on. I'm a psychiatrist right now. You love Mike Tomlin.
Of course I do.
As do I, by the way. I'm a big Mike Tomlin guy.
Man.
He's a great man. He's a great head coach. I want him to coach the Jets for a very long time. I have fantasized about Mike Tomlin in a platonic way for many, many years. But I think what's going on right now is Tiki doesn't want to actually believe something as beautiful as Mike Tomlin coaching the Giants could happen. So you keep putting up these facades. Go back to that clip I played.
Facade.
Go back to that clip from June 30th. The first thing you said is, the Giants won't be this bad. They were.
I need to wait for him to be available before I pined for him to be available. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think the reason you're saying
he's too good of a coach, in my opinion, for the Steelers to just fire him because the fans are unhappy. Right? Because Aaron Rodgers isn't playing good football. Because the center can't snap the ball back to the quarterback. Like all those things that contributed to that loss. Some of it is Mike Tomlin. It's not all Mike Tomlin.
I'm not saying it's Mike Tomlin's fault, but they've lost 5 out of their last 7 games.
Yes.
They are potentially staring at finishing under 500 for the first time in the Tomlin era. The fans have officially turned completely, which, look, this is a family-owned business, much like the Giants. The Rooney family hears this kind of stuff. We are closer to Tomlin being available than we've ever been before. And coincidentally, the Giants have a coaching vacancy. Like, the only thing that may keep this from happening is something you've brought up in the past, which is that Mike may just want to sit out a year.
Yeah.
Which I admit is certainly a possibility.
Which he should do, to be honest with you.
Look, that may be best for him.
19 straight seasons.
That's a personal decision for him.
Longer than that, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah, because you go back to his time in Minnesota.
Yes.
I'm not saying he wouldn't do that, but when you look at Giants availability, the Steelers continue to have embarrassing losses. That was embarrassing yesterday. That was Giants-like. That's what we do at MetLife Stadium. We chant to fire a head coach. That doesn't happen in Pittsburgh. They booed Renegade. Did you hear them boo Renegade?
I did not.
They booed Renegade.
You never boo Renegade.
You never boo Renegade. We are entering a world, and I don't know if it's a combination of two things with Tiki. I'm doing a psychological kind of study on him. Either it's you want Tomlin so badly you don't want to admit it, or you don't want me to be right from June 30th.
Oh, I don't care if you're right or not.
Okay.
I love Mike Tomlin. He'd be an amazing New York Giant head coach, but I'm not pining for him yet. He's not free yet.
Would you at least...
I don't get the sense that the Steelers are done with him, despite the fan base being done with him, because the fan base has been done with him for half a decade at this point.
Would you not agree, though, that, and you got to re-listen to your voice from that clip I just played a few minutes ago, that your tenor on June 30th, when I brought this up, it is far different 5 months later?
Well, it just wasn't a reality then.
So you're admitting it's more closer to a reality today?
It's not a reality until he's not the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Is it closer to a reality today, Tiki?
I have no idea because I am not dialed in to the Rooney family. But I do know that they don't fire head coaches flippantly. In fact, they don't fire head coaches at all.
No, they don't. You're right. That's their track record.
So until Mike Tomlin doesn't want to be the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, I think that Mike Tomlin is going to be the head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Now, you bring up history and say that family, the Rooney family, doesn't fire coaches. What I would ask you is, in the Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, Mike Tomlin era, how many times has a stadium full of people chanted for that man to be fired? Never.
Yeah.
Never.
That's hard, though. It's a different era. Chuck Noll he coached in the 70s.
I understand.
It was loyalty for loyalty.
Yeah,
It was my lunch pail is Pittsburgh Steeler black and gold. You can't, even if they were terrible, I'm not screaming for Chuck Noll to get fired. And Bill Cowher had nothing but success over his tenures and ultimately resigned after he had personal issues going on with his wife. And so this is completely unprecedented because it's 2025 and fans like to scream and they like to yell and they like to be heard and think that they have influence. But I don't think that the Rooneys are affected that way. I just don't. And so we'll find out, but I don't think so.
I also think that if the Rooneys are ever going to let Mike Tomlin go, they would do it in a very respectful way. I don't think it would be a firing. I think it would be a mutual breakup. Mm-hmm. And as a family-owned business, I think they would make a deal with another family-owned business. And that's another reason why I see this working. I can see the Rooneys and the Maras having a nice, respectful discussion that leads to this day happening. So I would assume every Giant fan would be in agreement that if this continues along the trend we're seeing, Daboll's already gone, so that part is over.
Yeah.
And the Steelers fail, and they decide to kind of have a mutual breakup with Mike Tomlin. You'd all want him, right? I mean, that's a no-brainer. You'd want him.
How can you not want Mike Tomlin? I just don't think he's available yet.
So you'd want him.
How could you not want Mike Tomlin?
There's somebody who works here who doesn't want him.
Who?
Huh, that's a new game. Let's play a second game here in the open.
Who doesn't want Mike Tomlin?
Who at WFAN doesn't want Mike Tomlin?
Oh, Gio?
You're going with Gio.
I mean, who else would it be?
Is that your guess?
That's my guess.
That is very disrespectful to a man who worked in Pittsburgh for many years.
I know. That's why you wouldn't want him here.
Incorrect.
Who is it?
But that was very close. What if I said it's the guy who sits next to Gio?
Boomer Esiason.
Listen to Boomer this morning talking about Mike Tomlin. I've got two cuts. So, Tommy, use your judgment on which one we should play first. But this is Boomer basically dismissing the idea of Mike Tomlin coaching the New York Giants.
But I don't see the Giants hiring Mike Tomlin.
Why not?
I just don't.
Why?
I don't know.
Why wouldn't you? I just don't. Why wouldn't you? And then Gio, and this is partially what makes him great, threw Boomer right and asked him a tough question. Said, do you not think he's a good head coach?
I don't know. I just
You don't think he's a good head coach?
I don't see it here in New York. I really don't.
Why?
I just don't. I don't. It just doesn't fit for me. I don't know. I think Mike McCarthy would fit more.
What?
From a established head coach.
Well, I don't understand.
Really?
Yes.
Now that I don't understand either. That's confusing. I don't know isn't a good enough answer.
No. I agree.
Now I need Gio to drill a little bit deeper.
Gio tried, man. He asked him 3 times. Like, do you not think he's a good head coach? Why wouldn't you want him? Gio was always under the impression, much like you, as someone who worked there, was like, they're never getting rid of him.
Right.
And I understand that hesitation that you have and he has. I've always had that hesitation, too. I think that eventually circumstances change.
Of course they change. But I also feel like Mike Tomlin would just as well sit out for a year than just go rush into another job.
So you're moving the goalposts on me, bro. I don't understand this.
Why?
You're as confusing as Boomer is.
I'm not being confusing. I'm talking from a perspective of having someone close to me who's very close to him.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second. What does that mean? Can you specify that again?
Rondé's like his best friend.
So he would not rush into coaching is what you're saying?
I don't know. But my sense is that Mike Tomlin has coached a long time. I have no idea what Mike Tomlin's going to do with his future if the Steelers move on for him. I also don't think that the Steelers are going to move on from him. I think Mike Tomlin can work there until he doesn't want to work there.
I have a feeling that I'm going to nail two of the 3 parts in my Mike Tomlin of the Giants prediction. Daboll's gone. Tomlin's away from Pittsburgh. I'm going to be ready to celebrate my greatest long-term prediction of all time. And then eventually you're going to be right and he'll be sitting on the beach. But all I know is today, December 1st, 2025 at 2:17 p.m., we are closer to Mike Tomlin being available to be the next head coach of the New York Giants than we were a week ago, a month ago, or a day ago.
Now, real quickly, Evan, before you move the goalposts, if the Giants hire somebody else, they fire him, and then Mike Tomlin becomes the Giants head coach in 2 years after taking 2 years off, does your prediction count?
No, I don't get a victory on that. You can give me like a partial pat on the head like I'm a good puppy and I just, ate my food.
Okay.
But no, I would not get a successful victory off of that.
Okay.
WFAN NFL football is powered by Verizon. We'll get to your phone calls. The other big story, but not as significant, was the New York Jets getting a victory their 3rd in 5 games.